What's going on, y'all? Straight to the point, sports and entertainment. Back again with another one. Want y'all to hit that like button and sub to the channel if you're not a member. And also hit the notifications to get all of my content, all of my videos. My cash app is $ straight to the point 77. All right. Donate if you feel like it. Uh gonna talk a little NBA, man, this morning. All right. Now I was talking some NBA earlier uh, with Bi Brandon Ingram, that situation that happened. Now I'm going to talk about yesterday's action. Okay. Now listen, I get it, man. A lot of people they have high expectations for Wemby. Okay, for Victor Wembanyama. Hey, Brown Sugar, how you doing, sweetie? Salute to you. But the thing about it that they have to understand, man, Victor Wembanyama is an emerging superstar. Okay, and he has superstar qualities, uh, potential Hall of Fame qualities, and uh, possibly uh, one of the greatest to do it qualities. Okay. Uh, with that being said, some of the greats that have come over time have have struggled, man. Now, if you call 18 points and 18 rebounds struggling to go along with 3 blocks, and maybe he had a couple of turnovers, but they got the win, that's not struggling to me. As a matter of fact, we were more disappointed in the fact that he had 24 and 8, which was 24 points and 8 rebounds concerning Houston, and he didn't get 10 rebounds. That's what I would critique him on. But he's getting 18 rebounds, and on top of that, he's getting several blocks. Okay, if he has a turnover here and there, that happens, but it's not a consistent thing. It's not a consistent thing. You have to understand that as long as you get the win, sometimes you got to win sloppy. Now, I criticize KD. You should criticize somebody like KD. The previous game, he had 8 turnovers. Okay, he had 8 turnovers. Okay, what's up, Matt Moses? What's up with it, Stephen Green? Make sure y'all go sub to Stephen Green. You said salute. Let's face it, Wemby is a future face of the NBA. We'll have to see. Now some people have said that now he is the driving force behind the ratings. Okay, he's the right now he's leading as the most watched uh, player in the league right now. Okay, according to the statistics. Now I understand that the statistics overall have shot up 92% in terms of viewership and everything, but we're talking about players that are being viewed. But that's a whole nother subject. I like the fact that De'Aaron Fox came back. De'Aaron Fox, still got to get into the shape, that he was, but he was able to put up a 20 piece, 24 points, and they got the win against the Pelicans, who I'm getting ready to cook the Pelicans because they're just awful this season. Okay, but all this Wimby hate, it's got to stop, man. This guy is still leading the league in blocks. He's still the leading candidate for Defensive Player of the Year. I know y'all don't want to hear that. You know what I'm saying? But it's the truth. But don't be so quick to sit there and say that, oh, just because doesn't he gets like 4 turnovers, you're automatically ready to, give up on this guy and everything. They still have a good record. They're still second in the Western Conference. Okay. So that's what we have to put in perspective. But y'all, like I said, y'all like to capitalize on the negative stuff. You know what I'm saying? Y'all like to see this guy fail. I guess there's a lot of people that want to see Wemby fail. You know what I'm saying? Much like some of the other superstars that they want to see fail, like that, like SGA. They want to see SGA fail so bad. that it don't even make no sense. But I'm giving Wemby his credit because 18 rebounds, that's shoot. That shows me that you put more effort into the defensive end than you are more so than the offensive end. Look, every now and then he might get a triple double. He might mess around and get a quadruple double. You know what I'm saying? Like Hakeem Olajuwon used to do, or like David Robinson used to do. But it doesn't matter. Listen, he could have had 10 points and had 20 rebounds and got the win. That would have been good. Even if maybe he didn't get double digit in scoring, but he got double digit in rebound, and then also got like 6 blocks. Guess what? That's Dennis Rodman type shit. You know what I'm saying? So you got to look at it from that standpoint. But all this Wemby hate, it's just stupid to me. And they've been hating on him since he came in the league, and ever since people have mentioned him being along the lines of an MVP caliber player, he's cooled off just a little bit. He's cooled off a little bit, but don't make no mistake about it. He's still playing at the MVP level. You know what I'm saying? Like last night, Luka um, against the Hawks, they took a L. With Luka only one being on the court along with Larabia, Jack Larabia, whatever the name is, number 12. Listen, you're gonna have those nights, but I'm gonna get to Luca in just a minute. Okay, I'm gonna get to it in just a minute. Now, uh, Trendon Watford, who plays for the Sixers. I know y'all like who? Trendon Watford. Okay, listen. Trendon Watford had a triple double last night, and of course, he from Alabama, from Birmingham, and he played for LSU, but he went undrafted. He was off starting in the front court. He had a triple double last night with the Sixers as we beat the Raptors 130 to 120. Uh, Maxey had 31 and Embiid had 29. Okay. And pretty much all of our guys, we did a phenomenal job and everything. However, we can't be satisfied with that because we got the Pistons tonight, and that's going to be our real test. And it's the beginning of the season still. Got to go. Uh, got to match up these guys. Okay, these guys. When we talk about Maxey and we talk about Cade Cunningham, these two guys right here, they got to go at it. Edgecombe, man, he's starting to take a little. He's starting to take a little step back a little bit, man. I don't know particularly what's going on. Now he had 11 points. He did solid defensively, but he's kind of lost his edge over the course of the season. And there's some other rookies that are starting to make a little bit of noise. So that's something to look out for. But tonight it ain't no playing. Much like the Raptors, it's not no playing around. Okay, not no playing around at all. Listen, this is what we got to understand. Okay, Detroit is a hungry team right now. They're real hungry. Uh, a lot of these teams that we're gonna be facing, they're gonna be hungry to take our lunch. Um, Listen, this is my thing about Detroit. Kay Cunningham, who I haven't talked about nearly as much as I should have been. He's an MVP candidate in my. He's playing at an MVP level himself. The last 5 games, I think he's averaging a little bit over 30, and I think that he's. I forget how much in the assist department that he's averaging, but him and Maxi, they need to go head to head because Maxi already went head to head with Garland. I don't really count that. Garland just coming back. He's still getting a groove. of everything. But I've already said this, and like I said, it's no shade to Maxi. Kate Cunningham is making his case as the best point guard in the league. Okay, you can make a case for that because he's leading. You know, I know we got Brunson. I know we, like I said, we had Garland. We got some of these other guys, uh, but Kate Cunningham is. It's like nobody wants to talk about him. But I am on this channel. We are going to talk about him. You know, listen, man. If y'all want to sit here and y'all want to dominate the conversation, talking about, the same old, be at the same old players, you know what I'm saying, the same old guys that's been in the league for 20 plus seasons, stuff like that. Go ahead and do that. But on this channel, we're gonna give the new guys, their credit. Now, Cade Cunningham is somebody that we got to watch out for. He's going to get his buckets, but also he's going to play make at the same time, which is what Maxi can do. The only difference is, I think with Maxi, I think he has to do a better job of closing the game. He's getting there. He's getting there. Like I like how he closed. Hold on one second, y'all. But yeah, like I said, man, these guys right here, they got to go at it um, to ensure, a lock for who's the best point guard. Um, right now, I think that Cade has an edge over Maxi, even though Maxi is up there and scoring and everything. But I've always said this before, and I maintain this again. And oh yeah, I forgot about Shea too. How could I forget about Shea? SGA. How could I forget about him? What am I smoking on? You know what I'm saying? How could I forget about him? But um, with Shea, uh, I really I think that he had the edge on both of those guys, on all of the point guards, because he plays both ends of the floor, and they have, like I said, they have the best record. Kay Cunningham, he looks to pass first, even though that he can't score. He's capable of giving you 40 points, 50 points, and all that stuff, but it's not necessary. And yesterday, I talked about Jalen Duran. I talked about him yesterday. Jalen Duran is a guy that you got to watch out for, especially when it comes for the, with the double doubles and everything. Because this guy right here, man, he's such a man. He's a presence in the paint. So that's another guy that we got to watch out for. Embiid, he put up 29. He's starting to get in a little groove and everything, but I'm still kind of concerned about that. Now he's not going to play tonight. Embiid's not going to play tonight because he's not playing back to backs. You know. Now I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that this situation where he's getting minutes restrictions, and on top of that, he's he's doing not playing back to backs or whatnot, and they're shortening the games a little bit. It's kind of working for him in his favor. If he could keep up playing the way that he's playing, I- I'm I'm pleased with that. I'm pleased with his effort more than anything else. You know what I'm saying? His effort is better than him going out there scoring 50 and 60 and slowing up the offense and stuff, and we're not getting past the second round. Okay. You know, everybody gonna struggle and they're gonna they're gonna go through their trials and tribulations, just like I was saying about Wemby. But the difference is how do you bounce back from it? And I could see Wemby bouncing back from it, but the question is, can Joel Embiid bounce back from it? I don't want this guy. My concern is coming around like I say like March or somewhere along the lines of that. Um, my concern is if he's going to start complaining about his knee, if he's going to start complaining about oh, I'm in pain and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like that's my concern. I don't want him. I don't want him coming in there. Okay, late in the season, when that's the time when we need to start getting geared up, especially after the All Star break. That's when That's when the season starts. Like right now, we're just starting to get into the groove just a little bit. We still got what 70 71. Well, some teams got still got 72 games to go. So it's a lot of basketball to be played. Um, the Lakers, they they lost last night and they got blown out by the Hawks. Of course, everybody was out. Uh, Austin Reeves was out. I think Vanderbilt was out. Of course, LeBron was out too as well. But it was pretty much Luka that was doing everything. Now they lost, right? But I'm gonna say something about Luca right now that I've noticed since he's played with JJ Redick. Luca actually is getting better with his defense. Now, when he was playing with Jason Kidd, his defense was you could see that he was starting to make a little bit more effort. But Luca, he's not known to be a one-on-one lockdown defender. He doesn't have that type of lateral movement like that, like some of the other guys and stuff, or the quickness like some of the other guys. But I noticed that he's making more of an effort because I think he had a couple of steals that I was quite surprised with, in which he was able to jump and get those steals, or get into, you know, uh, between the passing lane and whatnot, and get those steals. I was kind of shocked, or him getting those unexpected steals. I was like, "What, Luca?" Now they lost and they got blown out, but I was quite pleased about that, and that's what I know. That's what I noticed about Luca. He could be more of a dangerous player if he made somewhat of a defensive effort like that. Like I said, like with Larry Bird, he used to make that effort. I want to say this too, man. I was listening to Too Raw for TV. Shout out to Too Raw for TV, and he was talking about how Luca was better at this stage of his career, uh, better than LeBron was, and I heard him mention something about the pro black uh, statements that people want to make, and say that, oh yeah, you're not pro black because you like Luca. Well, I like Larry, I like Larry Bird, and I got him in my starting five. So does that make me a coon? Does that make me a buck dancer? Does that make me, somebody who's not pro black? No. If look, basketball is basketball. Basketball is basketball. And y'all want to subject it to colorism and stuff like that. It don't matter if you could hoop, you could hoop. You know, and the fact is that even though that Luca, he's not black or anything like that, the dude is balling. Okay, they took a L last night. You know what I'm saying? So the Thunder, they took a L. Not last night, but they finally took a L. Look, you're gonna lose, man. Ain't nobody gonna go 82-0. And ain't nobody gonna have no perfect season. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it boils down to. And if you think that you're so much better than him, then go out there and bust his ass in. That's the only thing that I could tell you what to do. But it doesn't matter. Even if, listen, he could be light skinned. Y'all gonna say, okay, listen, every person that comes in good, right? They got something to say about them, right? Like Steph Curry, they say, oh yeah, he shoot too much. He's he light skinned, or he's light bright. I don't like him. Or Wemby, oh he's tall, he's too big. He's too skinny and all this other stuff. You know what I'm saying? With Luka, oh, he moved too slow. He don't play no defense. He always out of shape. All this other stuff. You know what I'm saying? Whereas if you look at some of these other players like James Harden, James Harden was always out of shape and stuff like that. One thing I will say about James Harden shows up for the games, and James Harden don't tend to duck smoke like some of these other guys ducking smoke, And that's another thing that I was gonna say about Wemby. Going back to the Wemby hate. Y'all sit up here and y'all hate on Wemby. Y'all sit up here and y'all say stuff about Wemby and stuff. But the fact of the matter is that Wemby don't duck no smoke. You know what I'm saying? He don't duck no smoke. So besides that, man, I just wanted to get on here. I wanted to talk about that. Uh, Make sure y'all like the video. Make sure y'all share, subscribe, hit them notifications too. Straight to the point, sports and entertainment. Shouts out to the whole entire LDBC. Till then, I'm gone.